All right, buddy. So, what's your name and where you from?
Yeah, you can just call me Williams, man.
Williams.
Yeah. I live in Florida.
All right, Florida. And you messaged me on Instagram saying that you used to work as a correctional officer in the infamous Florida.
Yeah,
Yeah.
facts.
And what institutions did you work at, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, I worked at CFRC, the reception center in Central Florida.
And that's a prison that a few individuals that's been on my channel have already talked about, correct?
Facts.
Okay, and man, I don't know where to begin here. You've watched my channel and seen the past interviews of the individuals I had from Florida, correct?
Yeah, I've been rocking with your channel for a minute. I've seen the interviews with the COs. I've seen with homie that escaped 1090 Jake. Shout out to 1090 Jake. I've been rocking with your channel for a minute.
Okay, cool. Well, let's go ahead and jump right into how truthful would you say is the individuals that are talking about JIT camps or the main. I had a guy by the name of K Frog on here as well. He's talking about the main line. He had like 17 cell
Yeah.
phones. Yeah. So
So
how realistic is it compared to those stories that they're saying?
no, it's 100% accurate. Honestly, I feel like they were a little more. They were like a little like a, not what's the word I'm looking for? Not humble. They were a little more. They wasn't really giving you
A
like
little
how
more
how real it can
respectful.
get. Yeah, they wasn't really saying how real it can get
Okay.
in a JIT camp. Like the JIT is like a whole different ball game from adults and the JITs.
Okay. And what level prisons were you working at?
I just worked at the reception center.
Oh, okay, the reception center, and that typically gets all kinds of levels of inmates at first, correct?
Yeah, you get the adults, and then there's different units.
Yeah.
You get, and then you got the JITs over at the main unit. They
Okay.
wear the red hats and stuff.
Were you and you ever go into that unit with the jits?
Yeah, actually, like the reason why I got transitioned over there because I started in a different unit, but I started like the reason why I got transferred over there is like a whole nother story in itself that I could get into if you want.
I mean, yeah. I mean, go ahead. Tell me first off, what made you get into it, man? What made you get into it, and
All
what
right,
made you leave? Let's answer those first.
all right. How I became a CO is, I grew up in the Bronx. You know what I'm saying? I just did regular stuff that kids in the projects do. So when I moved to Florida. I didn't have no credentials. I don't have a high school diploma, a college degree, anything like that. So I was working two jobs, just hourly jobs. And then somebody that I know that was working there, he was about a 16, 17-year sergeant there, and he was asking me, he's like, "Yo, you got any felonies?" I'm like, "Nah." He was like, "Yo, won't you apply for corrections?" And I didn't think I could get it, so I applied. And after a while, I didn't hear nothing. So I hit him up, and I'm like, "Yo, I put the application in, whatever." He's like, "All right, bet." So a few days later, he hit me back up, and he's like, "Yo, I thought you said you never been arrested." I said, "Nah, you asked me if I have any felonies. I don't have no felonies, but I've been arrested a few times." And he was like, "All right, let me get back to you." He was like, "Yo, he's like, I'll see what I could do. I've been there for 16 whatever years. I never asked for no favors. I'll see what I could do." Fast forward, he was like, they pulled it, whatever, and he was telling me that what I needed to do was I needed to write a letter to the warden explaining like my arrest record and all this other stuff and whatever. So long story short, I ended up getting a job. Boom.
Okay.
That's how I
And
became a CO.
you became a SEAL without even a high school diploma, and you've been arrested.
Well, I had a GED,
Okay.
but I
Oh,
don't
okay,
have no
okay, okay,
felonies. I don't have no felonies.
okay, okay. Now, what made you leave corrections?
Well, I was forced to resign. I was forced to resign. And
Okay.
in corrections, they don't fire you. You just resign on your own, basically. And it's just the way I didn't have the discipline that I have now as an adult from when I first started. So I was getting like in trouble or written up for just certain shit. My attitude wasn't right.
Okay. Was it because you were too friendly with the inmates or what?
Nah, like I
or
grew up.
just a young kind of
Yeah,
insubordinate
just
individual?
exactly.
Okay, okay. Uh, Now, when it comes to well, what made you move? What transferred you over to JIT camp to little JIT unit?
All right. Well,
And it's
uh,
definitely more of a gladiator school than the regular units.
yeah. All right. Let me. All right. So I started off in a different unit. There are three main units at CFRC. So there was an inmate. I had an inmate die, like during my watch. You know what I'm saying? And the way I handled the situation, inmates felt like I didn't care or I didn't try hard enough, or like he could have lived if I would have did more. So when I got back to work, it was like, I don't know how true it is, but they were saying that there's points on my head. So they transferred me over to the main unit. When I got to the
So
main
the
unit,
inmates were they saying the inmates had a little hit out on you because you could have saved the dude's life.
that's what they were saying. It's
How
like
did he
what happened.
die?
All right, so I'm new, right? So I'm in there with I mostly work with this one sergeant. You know, he got like he's on the other side of his retirement, as they say. So he basically like he would bounce and I would just do everything, right? So my thing was whenever I would eat lunch, I would always eat lunch when the inmates would go for chow. That's when I would eat lunch, so that I know I won't be bothered. And the inmates know like when I'm eating lunch, don't bother me. Don't ask for no medicines, don't ask for no passes until I'm done eating. So this was on a weekend. So a lot of them stayed in. A lot of them stayed in for chow. So I'm eating my lunch, and I just hear all this banging on the glass, boom, 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 the control room, bang, 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 and yelling. So I get up. I'm like, yo, what the f is your problem? What you stop banging, man? I'm trying to eat my lunch. So they banging like, yo, he's having a seizure. He's having a seizure. So I get up. I look. I'm like, oh, all right. So I call hit the radio. Boom, Foxtrot outside. You know what I mean? Call it outside grounds, whatever. Boom, I'm telling them, yo, you got an inmate having a seizure. I really can't see because all they crowded him, so I really don't know what's what. I can't go out. I can't go out the thing because I'm by myself, and I had already got in trouble for leaving the control room when I was alone. So I'm not. I made sure not to leave. So they hit me back on the radio, and he thought I was like BSing. Another CO came in, right, and he looked, and then I heard him call on the radio, yo, medical, he calls for help. The whole time I'm just sitting there eating my lunch like there's nothing I could do. Like I'm not overly excited looking like, and you know they all came in. You know everybody started coming in. Medical came in and all that, and that was that. That's how the inmate died.
And they just didn't get there in time.
Yeah, but their whole thing was being that I was not nonchalant, but I was just calm and cool about it. Like, and they felt like, you know, they felt like I could have did more or hurried up or whatever. So that's how that went down.
Do you feel like you could have done more?
Nah, not really. I mean, I acted in a timely fashion. Like soon as I seen, I hit the radio ASAP. Boom, yo, Foxtrot outside grounds. Like, there's nothing I could do. I couldn't get out because I just got written up for coming out the control room by myself. Like, so there's nothing I could do really. I don't think I could have done anything more.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. So they moved you over to the JIT camp. I mean, the little JIT unit
The
after that.
the Well, it's the main unit. So you got other houses there in the main unit, but the JIT camp is in the main unit, which is called, I believe it's called Hotel Dorm. Yeah, it is Hotel Dorm because they call it Hell Dorm, and that's how I remember H for hotel, Hell Dorm. I didn't I didn't know what I was getting into until like they have a meeting and they the captain and whatever tell people where they working at, and they was like, yo, put Williams in H Dorm. And then they looked, and I knew it was something because when he said that, everybody looked. Everybody looked at me, but I didn't know what was what. You know what I'm saying? And my first day, I found out the difference between working with adults and working with jits.
What was the major difference?
See, adults, it's a respect aspect. Everything goes by respect. With the jits, they don't know respect. Everything is violence and fear with them. And I kid you not, my first day I did chow. I saw the difference right there, and I actually got into it. I actually, as they say, made contact with the inmate in the chow hall. I threw hands with one of them in the chow hall.
Yeah.
Man, first day.
And how'd that jump off?
Again, I'm gonna tell you the difference between adults and working with jits. So I would always work the chow hall, right? So my thing was, you know, if you're gonna swap out food, because you're not supposed to share food, you're not supposed to talk, you're supposed to boom. But like I didn't like a lot of shit didn't bother me. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't uptight. I wasn't trying to make, employee of the year, nothing like that. So, but my thing was like I don't know if a dude's getting escorted or not. So when a dude would get his food, right, and if I just so happen to see somebody giving their food to somebody with no equal exchange, I'll tell them like, yo, you gotta dump it. I did that about twice with the adults in the other unit. And there was no problem. I tell them, yo, dump it. And they'll just get up, dump their tray, whatever they was finished or not. No problem. So this time,
They would dump
first
it
day,
because of what? Because they didn't have the same amount of portions?
nah, my thing was like, you know how like certain food you don't like, you'll give it to somebody else,
Yeah.
another, but it really, they don't want the COs or whatever, they don't want the inmates sharing food or giving up food. Just if you ain't gonna eat it, just throw it away. So when I would see only about twice, I seen an inmate give certain food of his to another inmate, and when I see that, I don't know if you're getting extorted or so. My thing was, all right, you don't want to eat, dump your tray and go. And about twice with the adults, I've done that or something like that happened, and there was no problem at all.
Damn, man, you were tight, weren't you, man? Not letting them share no food, bruh.
Nah, my thing was nah. Like I said, if y'all gonna exchange food, like I, right, if he give him this and he take that, that's cool. But I don't know if he's getting extorted or not. So obviously you don't want to eat.
Why would he
So
be getting extorted though? What do you mean
I don't,
extorted over
I don't,
some
nah, I
a
don't know.
steak
Maybe he's
tray?
getting forced to give his food. I don't know. Like I
Oh,
don't, like
okay,
I
okay.
wasn't in there to try to find out. You know what I'm saying? What was going on? Like just let me do my 8 and leave. So when I'm in the chow hall with the jits, right? And I see that. So I walk up to him, I'm like, yo, dump your tray and go. And he's like, what? I said, yo, you don't want to eat, dump your tray and go. So as he gets up, he's still eating as he get up and he's walking. So I walk towards him, I say, yo, dump your tray. So he looks at me and he dumps his tray, not in the trash, but on my boots. Then he dumped his tray on my feet.
And what, you took off on him?
And he looked at me like, he just said some shit. And I'm like, I'm like, yo, you're gonna have to see me when we get back. And he's like, see me now. I'm like, all right. So I'm like, all right, what up? And we just started duking. Now, mind you, they let us rock for a minute. I mean, there was a couple sergeant there, captain in there. They let us rock out for a minute. Because the thing, when you a new CO, everybody want to see how you are. The inmates want to see how you are. The other COs want to see how you are. They want to see how you conduct yourself and how you handle things. Now, I already had not a reputation, but I already had like I guess a reputation for just like I'm still kind of like fresh out the projects. You know what I'm saying? So like I told you, I don't have the mentality of the discipline. But
Yeah.
yeah, we rocked off right there.
I don't know. I probably wouldn't. You said, but see, you said that you weren't trying to become like no sergeant or nothing. So why even give a damn what they were trading? You know what I mean? Why even care?
Now because my thing was anything that like I didn't care about too much stuff. And the things I did like that I did care about, I was like serious about it because that's what I was always told, man. If something bothers you, let it always bother you. Like don't bust somebody for this one day and then ignore it another. Just you know what I'm saying, if something really irks you or if you cracking down on something, let it be you all the way. Just be what they say, fan firm. Just be consistent on whatever. So that was it.
Damn, bro.
Now I let a lot of shit
I ain't
slide
gonna lie, I
actually.
would have snapped too, man, if someone told me to dump like the rest of these veggies I'm trying to give to someone that ain't got no food and I
Nah, I
would.
wasn't even that hard on. To be real with you, I'm telling you, Def. Like, I was chill, bro.
Yeah. I mean, I understand you're saying you're chill, but it's just hard for me to take that into consideration if you're getting mad that someone's trading food, petty state food. You know what I mean? That ain't nothing. You know, so it's hard for
Nah,
me.
but nah, that's true. I can see that. But like I said before, if it's a fair exchange, I'll let it rock.
But how do you know what's fair exchange and what's not?
Because like, there's been times like, dude to give whatever to Doom, and he'll get it like something else in return. Like, I don't like. It's just. Like I said, I don't know if dudes getting extorted or like I don't know, and I don't care to know. I never looked up inmates thing to see what they was in for. I treated everybody the same. Like, I didn't care what somebody was in there for. I never bothered to look anything up. None of that.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's just I'm looking. You know, I'm coming from an inmate perspective. If you were to see, if I were any, and this is any inmate, no matter what establishment you're at. If you see a CO getting mad that you're trying to give you some food or you're making him dump the last bit of his state tray, any inmate in their eyes is going to look at you as a petty CO. Petty as hell. You know what I mean? And pettiness brings war, conflict, turmoil. And I'm just telling you how inmate would look at it. You know what I mean?
Nah, that's a fact.
I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I'm just simply stating that. Yeah, even though you might have been relaxed, but you chose to pick that thing to be firm on with the food, whether it irked you in some kind of way or another. That in itself, though, is a petty thing to be getting irked over. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it do. But at the end of the day, I can only do my job as I see fit.
Yeah, I mean, you do you. I mean, it is what it is. But you know, most inmates are like, okay, that guy's. You know, most COs they get mad. Okay, you're bringing contraband in. You know, bringing a bunch of food from one block to another. That's one thing that inmates could say. Okay, he's just doing his job. But when an inmate sees you say, hey, you got to dump your rest of your state tray, then they're like, man, what? Are you kidding me? This is the pettiest thing I've ever seen in my life. And that's probably why you had some confrontations over that crap. You know what I mean? But that's just from an inmate's perspective. But, you know, I don't what made you get so mad about the trading of food, man?
Really, I wasn't even mad about it. My thing is like, if see, this is the one thing I noticed about working there. During shift change, right? During the shift change, the inmates they'll be there waiting to see who's coming in because they'll know who they can get away with, like I'm saying, who they could pretty much run over and who they can't. But my thing was, it's just that like if you're gonna do something, do it behind my back. Like just don't let me catch you.
Okay.
That's it. And then that's normally how it is.
Okay.
At least from my perspective.
Okay, now.
Like don't blatantly do it and like don't blatantly disrespect me in front of like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right. So, how did the COs treat the inmates? Is it as bad as everyone says? Treat them like
And
dogs, animals?
in JIT camp, yeah. In hotel dorm or H dorm, hell dorm, yeah. And a lot of the stuff I didn't even agree with. Like I didn't understand. Like yo, they would just randomly go in the cell and turn it upside down. Just you know, stuff like that I wouldn't partake in. Like I didn't agree with that. Like they used to do them little kids like GRIZZY, like shredding their papers. Like you know, we work them out. You know what I'm saying? We force them to work out. You know, after a while, you know, I'll get down, do the push-ups with them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like actually, my job it was pretty easy because they caught on. You know what I'm saying? I always try to just chill. Like, you know, they knew my accent. Oh, you from New York? Oh, you know what I'm saying? They knew. After a while, they just know. They know the 10 codes, all that. But they used to doing GRIZZY, man. I've seen quite a few things.
Did you see any physical abuse?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's like it's regular. Like it's regular with the jits.
Would they just get beat up or what?
Like tearing they rooms apart, or if they're not trying to listen, you know, choking them out. You know what I mean? Putting hands on them, bodies like folding them up with the body shots. Like, I can't say it wasn't nothing like crazy. It's just it's normal. Like it's normal for them to treat them that way. Like it really is normal. Like I told you, for no reason, they'll go in a room and they dorm, turn it upside down. They got to make their beds over, collect their stuff. Like,
And there was no reason involved at all. It wasn't because the inmate was being disrespectful or anything like that.
nah, it's just random shit. It's just kids, man. That's just how they treated the kids. See, when you with the jits is when you get like all the paperwork, that's when you find all the shanks and you find all this stuff. You know, with all that comes paperwork. COs don't want to do all that. You got guys 10, 15, 18 years in, you know, they chill. They ain't trying to do too much. They don't want to do no paperwork. They get the new recruits, the new COs, the guys, you know, in the academy or waiting to go to the academy to do all the dirty work. That's how I was. I was basically a doja to do, you know, all the dirty stuff. Oh, send them to H-Dorm. You know, put them here, put them there.
Well, damn, man. What was the craziest thing you've seen inmates do on another inmate? See anybody else get shanked up or anything like that?
Matter of fact, I tell you right now, remember when I was telling you how I got written up before for leaving the control room when I was left alone?
Mm-hmm.
See, I was left alone a lot because I was in there. The guy I mostly worked with, he was like a something-year sergeant. So he would just leave me, he'll bounce, whatever, and leave me in there. So, dude, this is the open bay. Not the cells, but like the open bay, the open house. And this is the first time I saw a sock and lock. It's out of nowhere. I don't catch on because it's a CFRC, there's two sides. So I'm just chilling, sitting back. And then I see out the corner of my eye some arms flaring. And I just see some white, just something white just traveling. I look over and the dude is just wailing on this dude. He got a lock in his sock. I didn't know what it was at the time. He just wailing on him. And by the time like help could come and everything, because I had jumped out. I initially jumped out to break it up. But before I jumped out, I called like, yo, boom, fight going on. I jumped out and, you know, CFRC, you got like, it's white. It's a white pillowcase. The pillowcase is white. The whole shit was just red, bro. Like the dude face was done.
Mm.
That was the first act of violence I saw. Probably like the craziest. Yeah, locking us up.
And things are treacherous.
Like I'm talking, yo, the whole pillowcase was just red, bro. Like face was done.
Well, damn, dude, I don't have too much more to ask you.
Well, I do want to share this though. Just some quick story. Like the first time I did count, right? How we would, and this is in the open bay. So how they do it is one officer go out, you know, walk around, do count, and you come in, he'll write his number down, and the other guy go out, the other CO will go out, do count. So my first time doing count, you know, all eyes on me, obviously. So as I'm walking, and there's you know, everybody's, you know, staring, looking, but there was this one dude was like not just staring at me, but like mean mugging, right? So when I get to him, I'm like, yo, it's not polite to stare. Everything good? And he looked at me. I was like, everything good? You good? And he just shook his head, yeah. But then when I went to finish, you know, counting in my head, I realized I messed up. But I don't want to let them know. So I just kept walking.
What do you mean? How'd you mess up? By saying that to him?
Yeah, I lost track of what number I was at.
Oh, okay.
Like I was nervous. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like I was nervous. Like it's me. This is my first time out with all these dudes. Like, so I was already nervous before I went out. So to have dudes staring at me, and then for me to have those little bit of, you know what I'm saying, that little talk with them, it threw me off my count. So I just continued on. I played it off. I go back inside. I write, and obviously our numbers didn't match, so I had to go back and do it. Now the funny thing is, when I get back right to that same dude, he was like, "You forgot your count." He was like, "It's all good." He was like, "Don't be nervous." And then I finished my count, and it matched.
Yeah, inmates know what time it is.
Yeah, you know, it's funny that you say that, right? Because another thing too, I wanted to share. one of the first times, right? So you'll get the call from like outside they'll tell you when to line up, the inmates tell them to line up, whatever, boom, boom. So I get the call on the radio outside to such and such through the Duke, spit the 10 code. So I don't know what it means. So I open up the book and try to find what the 10 code meant that he said. So then one of the inmates was like, yo, it just means line up. He's like, yo, that just means tell us to line up for chow and stay put and wait for him to tell us when to release us.
Yeah, man, we know the codes. We know why people recount. We know all that stuff, man. We peep all that stuff, man.